All right, in this episode, we talk about why does a pitcher throw a heavy ball?
And should we strength train in blocks?
All right, Brent Porcio, Stephen Godani here at the @TopVelocity #PitchTip Show, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat @TopVelocity #PitchTips. Ask your question, we answer on the show. Guys, go check out the Pocket Radar. Been nice enough to give us a 10% discount on the Pocket Radar. We use this with all of our drills, med throws, target throws, even all the other drills to measure to make sure where our progress is, because we typically have peaks and valleys through our program. Also, at the same time, too, it's a good way to understand mechanics when you know how it affects the results. So it's a good, affordable radar, $299. They'll give us 10% off of that. Use Top Velo at checkout at pocketradar.com, Top Velo, and you'll get 10% off. And like I said, it's a great radar to go anywhere. It sticks in your pocket, which makes it real convenient. We love them. We got a bunch of them around here. Also, 2X, 3X camps. Come down here. We'll show you how we measure with things like the Pocket Radar, our biometric system, which is a motion capture system. We use the Huddle app a lot, and we have some new things coming y'all's way to do more measurements and understanding and training how we're moving, so we can better understand how to make progress. So, what's the question for today? Hunter asks, what makes a pitcher's ball heavy? One thing, I don't know all the physics when the ball comes out of the hand, so I'm going to speculate on some things here. Somebody might have this answer. I do know this. If you look at like Scouting Bureau footage, which I've looked at a lot of working with scouts, is you'll get typically two readings. You'll get a reading out of the hand and a reading over the plate. And it's interesting, you'll see a guy throw 95 out of the hand and then 86 over the plate, and you see another guy throw 95 to the hand and 91 over the plate. So I'm going to say that it looks the same speed initially, but one got there quicker. That could create the heavy ball effect. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time too, it's a pretty broad statement. It could mean anything, but I'm thinking that might create the heavy effect. And what does that? Why would someone's ball keep speed longer? Obviously, that ball had more force on it and probably more spin. So there's probably a correlation, and that's what I don't know. There's probably a correlation to spin rate and speeds across the plate, or how much speed you maintained over the plate. And that's probably the guys, of course, the guys that are staying harder through the throw over the plate are the guys that probably seem like a heavier ball, because you see two guys throwing the same speed, but one of them's pounding the glove harder because the speeds are staying up longer. I would throw that into that category. Anything you want to add to it?
Would it be, I would be thinking it would be like force leg, or front leg, having a good front leg, and then having like an awesome trunk. Do you think that would be?
I always link that to spin rate. So, spin rate means you got more internal rotation. There's a lot more dynamics in your internal rotation, probably more internal rotation speeds. And because the front leg correlates to ball velocity, I'm thinking a guy's got a good front leg, kind of, getting extension to pitch release, good chance he has a good spin rate. I did lay out a bunch of pitchers at one time because I knew spin rates. I got a list of spin rates. I think Verlander, when I did this, had the highest spin rate, and he had one of the best front legs. And then as I went down the list of guys as their spin rates slowed down, you basically saw towards the end of the list poor front legs. So that was my case study.
Yeah.
So that's spin rate. Now, how does spin rate affect that speed over the plate? I don't know, or the heaviness. I don't have the studies on that.
I'm basing that hypothesis off of playing catch with David. He had a pretty heavy ball.
Yeah, and he's a guy who gets over his front leg, a lot of trunk.
A lot of trunk. And then there was another kid in college who I played catch with who had a really heavy ball. And looking back at it, he had a good front leg and good trunk.
So we think that's what you're looking at. It's a common saying. I've heard that a lot in my career. He's got a heavy ball. But I would relate it to guys that stay harder through 60 feet. Next question. John Fitzpatrick asks, what's your opinion on an approach that does heavy volume lifting throughout the offseason, but Olympic lifts in the last month? So you want to do more like a triphasic approach. You want to do heavy, like strength lifts, squatting, and not touching CNS or basically central nervous system lifts, like highly active lifts, like power lifts, like Olympic lift. So here's the problem I have with this is, yeah, you'll build a lot of strength because that's what you're doing, but you're also not training speed. You're not training the central nervous system to activate high activity. So you're actually, unfortunately, you're atrophying that system because you're not training it. So that's the problem. It's like, it's all a scale, guys. So if I overload strength development, then I'm going to underload CNS development, okay? Central nervous system development, okay? So then if I overload CNS development, I'm going to underload strength development. They go hand in hand. So I like a balance, okay? So I like to take that balance and go, a lot of strength, a lot of CNS. Typically, I want a little more CNS though, because speed is more effective in baseball and converting to the skills than strength. So the problem is, a lot of guys who come in here, they just love strength too much. They want to overweight strength than CNS. And I believe that's why most guys in here struggle. And I'll tell them straight to their face, you need to get your power to weight up. You need to do more anaerobic conditioning. And they poo-poo it because they don't want to, because it's hard crap.
Conditioning sucks,
It
Brent,
sucks,
that's why.
right. And so does Olympic lifting, it sucks. So the point is of course you want to do more strength. It's easy. It doesn't tax your...
say it's easy.
Well, it doesn't tax your central nervous system. The central nervous system is the worst feeling. When you shut your central nervous system down, it is tell me, right? It's the worst feeling in the world.
I get quite cranky.
Right. You get depressed, cranky, you don't want to do anything. It kills your motivation.
You can probably see it on the show. Like I bet you see times
there
days
is.
where I'm literally just like,
right. Those are all his
those are my
days.
the word. I'm not into it.
So of course you want to do a lot of strength, because you can go in, I can do a lot of strength lifting. I could do a lot of squatting and then just squatting. If I just came in and just squatted and then left, I'd say I'd leave with very close to the same amount of energy that I came in with. Energy. Now, if I went in and did the same time and routine, the loads in a CNS, like cleaning jerks, whatever, and I left, I'd be like dragging.
Yeah.
So the point is you're always going to want to do more strength, but you're taking away from really what's important, which is speed in this game, and motor recruitment, the ability to activate quickly. And that's, if you're not doing that to the last month, I understand building in speed more towards last month, but not neglecting it the majority of the offseason. I think that's a big mistake. Unless you're a guy who's just genetically fast as crap, then yeah.
Strength will really help.
Build it in. But there's not many of those guys. Most of the guys coming here are slow and they're stocky. So feeding them strength all day is not going to be that big of an impact on them, as opposed to building in CNS and getting them Olympic stuff and anaerobic conditioning all day. They would come out better. But I like the combination. I just want a little more CNS. That's my thing. And I don't want to shut it off. I want to keep it in there as much as I can. What do you say?
I think it's based on the individual. Like someone with that type of approach where they need to block strength into phases, it can be based on someone who's had a long training life, like I'd say like 3 years of training life where the really balanced approach isn't really seeing gains anymore. And then they would go to something into a more blocked approach where they have, a month of really focusing on strength and then switching it off into a really speed phase to try to turn that strength into some speed or power. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, it's not like you just focus on strength during that phase. Like the rule of thumb is like, if you're going to do a strength phase, it'll be like 2/3 strength, 1/3 plyometric. Still, because you're still trying to keep plyometrically what you have. That's what Brent's saying. Like if you just go through strength and you're not doing anything with speed, it's going to suffer. And then you've got all this strength and you lost a lot of that plyometric ability.
And then it's like a seesaw, because there's like, so then you're like, okay, well now I got to build in all this CNS. Then you bring down your strength, you start building the CNS, and then your strength starts going down.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I worked in that 3-month block to build all the strength, then I lost all the speed, and then I go to build all the speed in, and now I lose all the strength, I lose a chunk of the strength that I worked the 3 months to build. When if you probably would have balanced it out, you might have had the same thing. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is, everyone's different. Could have balanced out better for you. Who knows?
Yeah. So, thanks for ruining my train of thought.
But I understand what you're saying. Like different guys can come into it differently. And if you're in a
I
certain
remember
level
what I was
of
gonna
training,
say.
you can come into it differently.
Certain level of training, but also just individually, like Brent was kind of touching on with somebody who's just genetically freakishly fast. And of course, yeah, strength. If you're adding strength into somebody who's already freakishly fast, and you're giving them strength, of course it's going to help them out athletically. But it's the same way. Maybe you have a guy who's genetically really strong, has no speed. So then if you go into a strength phase for him, it's not going to do all that much for him. He's genetically strong. He needs to start learning how to transfer that strength into speed.
And I can walk into the room, and we got about 6 guys in here that I would walk, or 7 guys in there I would walk up to, and the majority of them I would say you need more CNS work than strength work.
And tell them they're all soft and they suck. I'm just kidding.
But it's like, Alex, more speed. Jared, more speed. Of course, Gary, more speed.
Derek needs more strength.
Derek's more strength. Scott, more speed. Mark, more speed. Well, no, I'd say combo. He could be a combo.
Parker, more
Parker,
strength. More strength and speed.
Yeah, combo.
I think both would help him a lot.
So the point is, mostly, if I went through that, that's just a room of, what do we say?
Did you say
seven
Scott,
guys.
Did you say Scott needs more speed?
Yeah.
I think he needs more strength. He's weak as shit.
Okay, combo.
But I mean,
okay. So
they go hand in hand.
we're looking at a lot of combos in here, or more speed. There's a rare guy in here we can just go strength, and which would be Derek.
Yeah,
I think we had one guy out of 7 guys in here that we said could have just done strength.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's going to be average. You're going to have a smaller percentage that can just do the strength. Is that our first question? Second question. All right. Good question. If you have a question, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat at Top Velocity, #Pitch Tips. Ask your question, answer on the show. 2X, 3X camps, guys. Start booking those now. It fills up for the summer. And I only take a small amount. I take to the most around 10. But we average like 6 to 8, guys, because I keep them as frequent as I can. This summer is a small amount of camps, so you need to get them soon because they need to fill up because they are filling up. So you need to get in there and jump on it. All right, we'll see you in the next episode.
We them boys.